Okay. There we go. All right, welcome guys. I'm loving this light because I noticed in Tuesday's class, and we're going to start in the dark. Well, I'm in the dark. Some of you are in the light, and then the light will change and we'll be in the bright light at the end of class. And that's just, you know, this time and balance and everything. So we bring it in. So what I want to say before we start class is that, you know, I talk often about our postural habits and things that, you know, we need to kind of acknowledge that cause, you know, wear and tear or too much weight on one side of the body to the other, all of the, you know, simple things, just where you hold your head, all of that can affect, you know, you drop your head to one side, one shoulder lifts, one shoulder drops, and there's, you can see, if you, when you're out, wherever you go these days, you just kind of, it's always interesting to kind of see. The other thing I always look at, I can't help it, is the way people balance on their feet. And so many people, they call it, they give it a fancy name. Oh, I pronate. If you are a runner or been a runner in your past life and gone to buy shoes, they'll be like, oh, you pronate, which means that your arches are collapsing, which means your inner knees are collapsing. And just lifting the arches, moving more to the outer edges of the feet is such good practice, not easy. Okay, so postural habits. Then we have our yoga habits, and those, you know, who are here, you know, you guys have been doing yoga for years. And what, you know, same kind of thing. We kind of get used to holding the posture a certain way. We get to know it a certain way. And we think, okay, we're in it. But sometimes, you know, if we can switch it and come in a different way, it illuminates new pathways. So that's my intention for class today, is to just go through maybe some poses that we are very familiar with, change them a little bit and just see how that works. And also, you know, it's not going to be a super active class. So I'm still wearing my socks. If you want to wear your socks and whatever else, that's fine too. So, okay. So let's start. Get yourself settled and find something to sit on. We'll just center for a few moments. So let's just start like this, guys. Take your hands, just kind of wave the energy around, you know, breathe, move your arms, just shift things around a little bit. And yeah, just do that. It should feel good. Wake up, good. And then once you feel, oh yeah, it's nice and fresh around me, and we'll let the arms settle. Beautiful. Yeah, even that, just a nice little wake up. I'm going to change the cross of my legs, go non-habitual immediately. And let's keep one palm up and one palm down. And then let your eyes close and your jaw to drop. Let your tongue rest in your mouth. And start to settle into your breath. You might even still feel that movement of air around you. And the bridge is the breath, connects the outer world to the inner world. Go feel yourself inhaling that fresh energy, fresh air you have circulated, and that you are releasing, I don't want to say stagnant breath, old breath, but you are just releasing. Let's take maybe 2 more breaths here. And just before we move on from here, also scan your body. And just notice anything that's talking to you. Can you make little adjustments in your seat, in your length of your spine, the way you're, you know, even holding the chest forward or back, just little shifts. And inhale as you are. Exhale, join the palms together in front of your heart space. Bow your chin with reverence, with devotion, with honoring for being here, being on your mat, taking this time. It's a great act of self-care. Let's seal that and call ourselves home and chant home 3 times. Begin with a nice big inhale. Release this completely. Cough if you need to, and inhale to begin. Oh. Down your chin, release your hands to your thighs, lift your chin and open your eyes. Okay, I'm just going to take off my sweatshirt for a moment and we're going to stay sitting. I'm just going to turn to the side. Feel free to change the cross of your legs or prop up as you need to. Okay, so we're just going to take both hands to the floor. Oh, I don't need to turn to the side yet. Take both hands to the floor, just touch the earth, adjust yourself. And then once you have your fingertips, finger pads on the floor, push down strongly. Lift your heart and then slowly release your head to one side. And keep anchoring the fingers, maybe move the shoulders back a little bit, lift your heart, drop the jaw. And then we're just going to do a little half moon. So drop your chin towards your chest, keep that integration of the fingertips to the floor, bring your ear over to the other side. Lift your heart, drop the jaw, move your shoulders back. And then again, just drop chin to the chest, take it up, and then maybe just move side to side here and feel free to go very slow. Listen to all the cracks and the pops. So we're integrating the finger press, shoulders a little bit back, heart lifted, and then the jaw and the face very soft. Good. Okay, next time your head moves, let's say over to the right side. So right ear towards right shoulder. Good. Okay, let's keep the left hand where it is. You can soften the press of the fingers and we'll just take the right arm up and lay the right hand on the left side of your head for a moment. Lift yourself tall even as you keep this. Drop the right shoulder, your jaw. I'm just going to add a little bit of, I'm just going to say this. Take your lower jaw and shift it over to the left. Good, one more breath. And then keep your head where it is. Release the right hand back down. On your exhale, roll the head down and over to the second side. And then once you're here, take the left hand up and over. And again, just a little bit of weight. Lift your heart, shoulders back a little bit. Drop the jaw. Let the head release, the left shoulder drop. And then move your lower jaw to the right. Soften anywhere you can. And then keep the head where it is, release the left hand. We're going to drop the head to center. Good. I'm going to change the cross of the legs here. And then take your hands behind your head, interlace your fingers, press the back of the head into the hands without lifting it. And the hands are going to press back. You might even tuck your chin a little more. Now bring your elbows either side of your head. Drop the shoulder blades down a little bit. You don't have to press them down so much to see if there's room to release. So you keep pressing the back of the head in, let the jaw go. See if you can even bring the chin a little closer to the chest or the chest closer to the chin. Good. And then release your hands. They can come out to the side. The head's just maybe magically going to float up. Good. Take a breath here. And then we'll stretch the legs out. Move them around a little bit. Good. Okay, now I'm going to turn to the side, and you're welcome to keep your legs stretched out or refold them. I'm just going to take the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, and I do have the elbows bent. Move the shoulders back. Start to straighten your arms. And then move the heart back, the belly back, as if you're almost leaning into this. And some of you might be able to move your arms away from your body. Take the shoulders back, lift the heart. Drop your chin to your chest just nicely. Don't, not forcing it. Let the jaw go. Okay, we're bringing the shoulder blades together, pressing down, back of the heart, lifting. And then release and let the arms just swing up to the sky. They don't have to touch, they can be wide. Look up for a moment. And we're going to move into twist. I'm just going to change the cross of my legs. If you have them straight, you can still do twist. Exhale and turn to the right. Release your hands somewhere down wherever you are. Look over your right shoulder. Your head is turning as much as is comfortable. One more breath. And then to change sides, I'm going to inhale, reach the arms up to the sky. Turn yourself to the left and find your twist here. Turn your head as much as is comfortable. Take your heart back a little bit. Soften your jaw. Good. And then inhale, sweep your arms up. Come back to your center. Release both hands to the floor. Okay, I'm going to change the cross of my legs again, whatever works. I'm going to take opposite side here. So hands behind the back, opposite interlace, move the shoulders back. And then you can keep the elbows bent where you start to straighten the arms. You press down to the floor. Maybe they move back. And then take your heart back, belly back. And start to release the chin down. Let the jaw go, eyes can close. Just feel the work in the back of the shoulder blades. Shoulders pressing down and back. One more breath. And then release the arms, let them just float up magically. And we're going to move into forward fold here. We're going to take the hands down to the floor and just walk it forward into, it doesn't need to be all the way down to the floor. You might get there. Go nice and slow. Okay. Drop into your breath. If you can soften a little bit more behind the heart, even the shoulders, if they're up by your ears, let them soften. Drop your jaw. Let your head go a little more if there's space. Okay, if you are all the way down with your forehead on the floor, I want you just to walk your hands back so you come up maybe halfway. And then spread your fingers, anchor to the floor. And then really let the head go as much as you can. And we're just going to turn the head so maybe the chin moves to one shoulder and the other. And we'll just do that a few times, nice and soft. The head really hangs, so this movement maybe about getting a little, even though, just imagine that the back of the neck is getting a little longer, more open. Good. Okay, we're going to turn the chin to the right arm, right shoulder. Push your hands down and away. Take your belly back, your heart back. Shoulders might move forward here. Let all of that happen. And then release, keep your hands on the floor, but let the heart space, everything move forward as the chin moves to the center of the chest and then over to the left side. And once you're there, again, press the hands down and away, almost like you're doing a little cat pose. Stretching the head. Again, let the shoulders move as they need to. Soften that press of the hands, bring yourself more into a neutral place, and then we're going to walk the hands back onto the thighs and come up. Good. Okay. And stretch the legs out and just move them around a little bit. And then we're just going to sit in Dandasana. So that's this pose. So sit on your perch. I'm going to move myself forward a little bit. So I still have my sit bones on the perch and the legs are straight out. And so if that doesn't work for you, put something under your knees or sit higher. Take your hands to the floor like we've been doing with the finger pads, press down. And then we're just going to point and flex the feet a few times. Just open up. Okay. Now just bring your feet so the heels are on the floor. You don't have to have your feet super flexed, or just be here. And just feel, you might even take your hands to your thighs if you need to. Let the thighs soften. So release your jaw and just even in your mind's eye, feel like the tops of the thighs dropping to the backs of the thighs. And as that weight down, if you can lift yourself a little taller out of the hips, out of the pelvis, and notice if that tightens into your hip crease for you. Just notice, and then see, can I create spaciousness in the hip joints so that you have this, releasing, very gently anchoring. If you push the thighs down, they're going to harden. So it's just a gentle release. This lifting up of the torso and then softening into the hip crease. Just be with that for a few breaths. How can you create more space in your hips? Just by being very conscious of any hardening. Okay, we're going to fold forward. We're going to do that really nicely. So just as you are, inhale. And then just start to walk your hands forward. And you're just going to go as far as your body says this is it. Without hardening. See, can I stay soft? How can I stay soft? Oh, that might just be very slow. Once you hit your place where you feel like, okay, I'm good here, you start to let the head go, the jaw go, the feet relax. Anything else needs to relax. Okay, so we are folding. You might be folding more at your waist. So feel if you're folding at your waist or your hip crease. And if you're folding at the waist, just want to lengthen your spine a little bit more so that it comes more into the hips. And noticing, the two sides too. Here we are in this linear shape. Notice the two sides of your hip creases, your thighs. And create more space in your hips. So some of you might feel that to do that, you're releasing, the tailbone is dropping, sacrum dropping. Maybe it's more of a cat pose in the spine. Just be with your breath. Be with your breath and your internal awareness in any place where things get tight and tense. And just here for another few breaths. So adjust if you need to go deeper or to back out a little bit. Any tension, you let that become a focus of creating spaciousness. Okay. Letting your final few breaths be maybe a little deeper if that helps. Deeply aware. And then we'll slowly walk ourselves up out of this. Okay, we're going to come to Bhattachanasana. So it's soles of the feet together, knees open, and then put your props in, guys, if you need them. You have them. Throw something underneath there. Find a good stance for you. So feet further away or close in, whatever works. Then we'll take the hands down again. Okay, if you need to sit up higher on something, do that because we're looking for softness. So if it helps you to take your hands and just massage your inner hip crease a little bit, just feel it, notice, things get tight here. This is the place. This is the center point. Every movement begins in the pelvis. Every movement you do begins in the pelvis. So just start here, drop the jaw, just feel for yourself. And then we're just going to find that same little, I'm going to say grounding, but you're just allowing the grounding to unfold. You're not pressing down. But there is this lift. And if you can lift yourself a little taller from the crown of your head, feel into your hip creases. Notice if maybe you need to shift your ribs from one side to the other. The head needs to move a little bit. If one side is taking more weight, can you move some weight over to the side that's not getting as much? So just know that you might be perfectly centered. You do not need that. Okay. Take one more breath. Full inhale. Let the jaw go as you exhale. And then we'll walk ourselves forward. And again, go really slow. And notice when things maybe start to tighten or grip. And maybe that's where you want to pause. You want to back out a little bit. Can you bring some spaciousness? Can you create space into these places that just tighten? It's their body's way of protecting itself. It's also, when we bring in our habits, one side is going to work a little harder than the other. But here's your opportunity now to invite in grace into all those places. Breathe into those places. Soften around it if you can. And then allow the pose to unfold here. So after a few moments, the body might want to go deeper. That's all fine. Maybe as you move deeper, different things come up. Back to this idea of opening. Of noticing, feeling, communicating with your body, with these places. So if I say every movement begins in the pelvis, and we also talk about the pelvic floor. Now I'm going to call this the Cave of Wonders. If you remember in Aladdin, he descends down into the Cave of Wonders. He's literally entering into his own psyche and dropping down to where everything that is of value is held deep down. Just drop yourself into this Cave of Wonders that is your pelvic floor. And explore it. We'll just take one or two more breaths here. Okay, and then again, walking yourself upright. Maybe taking the hands to the thighs for a moment. You can massage or just anchor. And then we'll take the hands to the floor when you're ready. Lift the knees up and straighten your legs. Actually, let's just do a little bit of seated windshield wiper just to move the hip joint a little bit. Okay. Good. All right, so next seated pose. And again, you might sit higher. So I'm going to extend the right leg and keep the left leg bent. And so you're going to feel, with this asymmetrical shape here, you might want to put a little bit more weight underneath maybe the right hip. You see. So once you're sitting, take your hands to the floor, anchor down, lift tall, and just feel what this is into the hip creases. And just soften your seat without collapsing your heart. Lift your heart. Shoulders back a little bit. Maybe the chin back, jaw soft. And just dropping in. We're going to turn this into twist. So the right hand's going to move behind and the left arm's going to hop. Maybe we'll take it up in the air first. Lengthen, turn, and bring the elbow to the inside of this left knee and turn. And as we do that, we're taking the side waist back more to the right. I'm going to anchor through the right heel just for a moment. And then let that all soften and just really be in your Cave of Wonders, softening all the way down. Even though there's a twist, it's really about the anchoring and the softening. That might mean your right foot wants to turn out a little bit. Okay, let's just take one more moment here. And then we'll release, bring yourself back to just sitting. Adjust your legs as you need to, hands to the floor. Okay, soften into that right hip crease. Okay. Good. All right, guys. So I'm going to take this left leg and I'm going to pop it over top of the right. And if this is not accessible for you, it's no problem. You just come into this Shavasana or prop up. Katie, can we please stop? Or as you do this, you can even put a blanket or a prop in there. So what if this works for you, great. If not, you make it what it is. Okay. So again, I'm just going to be here for a moment. Let everything soften. Feel the sit bones, pelvic bowl. Notice if you're tucking back a little bit. Find as best as you can this upright. Let the jaw go. Okay, now I want you to really feel the sit bones, that this is starting in the hips, so that the sit bones anchor your cave of wonders, your hips, your pelvic bowl is balanced as best as it can be in this imbalance. And then we'll start to come forward again. And again, you can grab your foot, put your head on your left knee. Great. But let's go slow so that we really feel, okay, what's happening? I have my left foot flexed, but you could also have it softened. And just feel, let the jaw go, head go. How can I be in my hip creases here? Let everything become more spacious, even in this constricted shape. Okay, just receiving. I haven't done that much to stretch the legs. I just want you to feel, helping you release and soften. Let the bridge of your breath feed and nourish, release, connect you deeply. And notice any tension in the shoulders. Maybe you need to turn your head a little bit and just release anything you're holding there. And then wherever you are in this shape, even if it's upright with just the head dropping, come into the breath. Let every inhale be that nourishing breath and the exhale be the softening. If you are descending down, cave of wonders. Okay, and we'll slowly come up. What do? Once you're here, just stretch both legs out. We're just going to be in Dandasana. You feel free to move. You need to shake your legs, do that. And then just feel. You might even really feel your seat, your sit bones on your prop. Okay, take the right leg, I'm going to bend it. And then adjust your props, do what you need to do. I didn't do this on the other side, but I'm going to say this. If you shift yourself over on your blanket, so maybe the left hip is more supported than the right, maybe for you that might be helpful. You decide what you need. Okay, be here with the leg bent, shoulders back, fingers on the floor. And just for a few moments, feel this softening to gravity, lengthening into the energetics around you. Let the hips, the hip crease soften. Feel your breath. Okay, left hand's coming behind, and you reach the right arm up. And then take that right elbow to the inside of the right knee. Start to turn yourself to the left. Very compassionately kind. We're just here. So I'm pressing elbow and knee against each other. So it is a twist, obviously. That's happening. Let the jaw go. And bring your awareness all the way down. Descend down from the jaw into cave of wonders. And then feel, is the right hip working a little hard to make this happen? And I let everything soften there. Can I create space to explore? Even in this twist, so you might feel, oh, I need to back out a little bit. Softening into the left hip crease, the right hip crease. Notice if your belly is hard. And anything else, can you release any extra tension here? And maybe through the softening, you might be able to turn your ribs so the left rib cage side moves back a little bit without hardening into the hip crease. Okay, you will release. And if you need to stretch your legs out or shake them, you're going to do that. Okay, from here, I'm going to take this right leg across. Turn myself a little bit here. Prop up. So, blanket. This might help you a lot. Just throw a blanket in there. Might be exactly what you need. Who knows? You just be here. Take a few moments in this, whatever shape you're in. Shavasana, all good. It's a different hip thing, but it's okay. Work with where you are. Okay, so descending, notice if one side's lifting more than the other. Can you invite in balance in your seat as best as you can? Soften the left leg without pressing it down, just let it soften. Find this lifting, the spine as staircase, lift up. And then when you're ready, friends, as you begin your exhale, let that guide you into your version of forward fold here. Close your eyes. Walk yourself into that place where you start to feel maybe a little bit of tension, stress, stretch. And just use your breath, the softening of your face, your jaw, everything we have already practiced. Into releasing through the hip crease, creating space. And if you suffer from sciatica, if you've ever suffered from sciatica, this is tightening in the outer hip, compensating, moving in the same habitual way. I said this quite a few years ago in class, that I don't remember what studio we were in. It was a long time ago. But when you get out of bed, I always kind of try and find a new interesting way to get out of bed. And I've been doing that for years. So that's just one little thing. You brush your teeth in tree pose. Just change the way you do your regular things. Bring in a little bit of playfulness. All right. So noticing the left hip, right hip, outer hip, inner hip, back of the hips, front of the hips, full circumference. Notice the jaw, the eyes, shoulders. Let the head go a little bit more if you can. Just really feel whatever this brings up, any lines of energies that you're attuning to. You might even notice this line of lengthening through the back of the leg, and you can feel that all the way into the inner hip. And create some space with your intention, with your awareness. So let's take one more full breath in. Sigh out like you love this. Oh, I wish we could stay for another 20 minutes. And then very slowly walk yourself upright. And then we'll just stretch the legs. Again, move them around if you need to. Okay. All right, guys. So now we're going to move on to our backs. And I'm going to bring a strap. I'm going to bring a bolster. I'm going to bring a block. Okay, so we're down now for the rest of class. And if you need Put on anything else to make you warm, do that. Okay. Let's start with the bolster lengthwise. And I'm going to put a blanket there for the head. You have the block handy. Just move the strap out of the way, and we'll just start lying down like we do, Shavasana 2, just to open here. Okay, so you can have your legs stretched straight here. And what's beautiful when we get into this, it should feel pretty good. We get this nice opening into the belly area. But what we have happening is the whole backs of the legs should be resting on the earth quite comfortably. Let your feet just do what they want. Okay, feel free to take your hands and just massage the front of your hip crease a little bit, even just feeling in. Just feel what's there. The ligaments and tissue and the bones. And once you've kind of gotten, okay, warm them up a little bit, maybe move to your outer hips, massage, rub a couple times, love your hips, and then let your hands rest wherever they like, maybe out to the side or on your tummy. Just grab my sweatshirt. Just rest there and breathe. The simplicity of this shape. Unfold. And then now you know where your hip creases are. You just massage them. They're very relaxed, hopefully. And so just for these next few moments, friends, inhale your breath, let it fill wherever it does. And as you exhale, offer that to the hip creases. Let them melt. Create some space. As if you could almost feel them descending front of the hip crease to the back of the hips. Melting down. If you don't feel that, don't think, oh, I'm not doing it correctly. No. It's an awakening process. It's such a, how often have you been told to feel into your hip crease? Right. I'm just assuming you all said not too often unless you're in yoga class. Okay. All right, we're going to find the block. Bend the knees, lift the hips, and you're just going to put this block on its lowest height underneath your sacrum. Okay, and then keep the knees bent, and we're just going to do a few little cat-cows here. So, it's not a big movement. You can put your fingers into your hip crease, and it's almost like you're pushing the hips down, low back arches, and then they lift. So it's very, very small movement. Just be with that for yourself. Yeah, there you go. Okay, and then just come to rest into this neutral. So you feel the face of the sacrum on the block. You still have your chest supported, and the shoulders are naturally dropping back just because we have the bolster where it is. Good. Okay, so I'm going to keep the left leg where it is. Bring the right knee into your chest. Let's hug it in. Okay, I'm going to extend the left leg, and it might just, rest along the floor if that's comfortable. It's going to add a little bit more maybe into the right hip crease for you. It is for me. And then I'm just going to really work on softening into that right hip. So I'm not hardening. I have my hands on top of the shin, but you could have your hands behind the thigh or on the knee. Create some space. Just feel, can I drop that hip? And what you might notice, some of you might notice, is that the more you can release through that hip crease, the thigh might move a little closer to your belly. Just naturally. So we'll just take maybe 2 more breaths. Okay, I'm going to bend the left leg, left foot to the floor. I'm going to cross this right ankle over the left knee. Let your hands rest on your tummy or out to the side.
And then we're just going to move this right knee in and out. And so not a huge movement again. Just move that knee in and out a couple times, just moving the hip. And so as you do that, feel that the right hip is going to be moving a little bit away. You might even feel your whole hips, because we're on the block, that they're almost doing this little dance. So whatever you're doing, whatever's happening, be with that. Okay, come to pause. Okay, guys, I'm going to take the left hand, find this right ankle, and see if you can bring this right heel in a little bit more towards the left hip crease. If that's there, okay, now I'm going to push this or allow the right knee to move away from me. So you might have to keep holding that right top of your right foot. Okay, you might be able to anchor the outer edge of the right foot into the left hip crease and take the hand away. And then be here. If you can straighten the left leg, oh, that's going to be a really big opening here. Okay, as I do that, I'm going to notice too that I'm almost leaning to the right. I want to find balance. That's where the block comes in. Okay, so be wherever you need to be here. Hold the foot, left leg bent, left leg straight. Drop the jaw. Find that work in releasing if you can. Take one more breath. And then I'm going to re-bend the left leg. Take the right foot off and heel toe your feet a little wider. Come to a little bit of windshield wiper. Just to really move this, the hip crease so the knees can drop into center. And, it's very different when we're on the block than when we're not. Find your little dance. Okay. All right. So heel toe your feet back to a comfortable distance apart. Readjust your block if you need to, anything else you need to. And then we're going to bring the left knee in. So fingers interlaced, maybe on the shin or behind the thigh, or maybe you need your strap. And you're just here for a few moments. So softening into the left hip crease as best as you can. Without taking any extra stress into your eyes, your jaw. Soften that left hip crease. With every exhale, you can let your left foot, maybe it needs to really relax here. Maybe if you flex it like we normally do, that's just going to make things a little harder. Good. Breathing. Good. Okay, I'm going to stretch the right leg out. If that's there, you can let the right leg just relax. And softening through the left hip crease. And again, you might notice, some of you, that the more you can really soften that, the more the leg starts to move in towards the thigh, drops towards the belly. Take 2 more breaths. Good. Okay, I'm going to rebend the right leg. Take the right hand, find this left ankle, and cross it over ankle to knee. And we'll just start by moving this left knee in and out a few times. Let your hips move. Just let the motion of this ocean, meaning that whatever needs to move with it, it's going to happen. This is just our opening release. And then coming to the center, or wherever it is, I'm going to grab the foot, I'm going to bring it down, maybe heel into the hip crease. Okay, and you might just keep holding this. As you drop that left knee away from you, that might just be where you stay. Okay, and that's all good. You can straighten the right leg. You might keep holding the foot, or you take your hands away and the foot whole anchors itself. But again, we know we're working for softness. So you don't need to go any further to where that place where you can harden. We want that left hip crease to be softening, opening, and receiving. This invitation to ground in without forcing it. Just receiving gravity, creating that space in whatever shape you're in. Oh, I just noticed for myself, the little shoulders are getting hard. Drop the shoulders if that's happening. Notice if you're dropping more to the left side, balance. One more breath. Okay, and then release both feet to the floor. Take a little bit of this windshield wiper. And then we're going to come off this block. Just take a moment or two with the knees bent, the hips dropping, and the hip creases are dropping. Just feel that. You can put your hands in the hip crease for a moment. I love you, hip crease. I love you, sciatica. I love you, psoas. I love you, hips. Thank you for everything. All right, you're gonna come off the bolster so you can roll to your side or just pop yourself up. We'll take it out completely, but you might keep something for your head and then come back and lie down, bring in a strap with you. Okay, and then once we lie down here, receive this great feeling of grounding. Okay, guys, we're gonna bring both knees into the chest and just child's pose on your back, Bhattachanasana. Hug your knees in. We're gonna stay here for a few moments. So if you need to put the strap over the knees and hold on or interlace your fingers, maybe go opposite interlace. Let your feet relax and tuck your chin a little bit. Let the head relax, shoulders relax, everything relax, and guess where you're going to bring your attention to and deeply let go. Your hip crease. And you create some space there. Okay. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I am going to go 5 minutes over time today. I hope that works for you. As I really want to get this last pose in, which is Supta Pada Gustasana. So we'll just set the left foot on the floor, grab your strap, you're gonna place it over the ball of the right foot. We're gonna take the right leg up and we're gonna hold the strap, one in each hand. Now the left leg can stay bent, it can go straight. And you're gonna find this place with the right leg where you have the heel over the hip. As best as you can, if that's not in it for you and you have that leg, that's fine. Bend your knee. Okay, and then here, so normally, we are in this and we really work it. We'll press the thigh back, we pull the leg. We want to get as much as we can, but now I want you to do the opposite, which is just to allow the weight of the leg to create that space. Even feeling like the entrance of the cave is the sole of your foot. And you can descend down through the leg into the spacious cave of wonders. So if you need to bend the knee, soften shoulders more, the jaw more. And allow the weight of the leg to drop in towards that hip. Maybe the leg needs to move away from your face a little bit. That might give you more space too. So explore, feel, and invite in that space as best as you can. Full circumference of this right hip. You might even notice the sole of your foot softens. Good. Okay. Take both ends of the strap into the right hand. Left hand rests on your left thigh or out to the side. And as you exhale, start to take this right leg out to the side. And you don't need to go that far. You might just go like halfway. And then just take a few moments. You might rest your elbow on the floor. Find the softness. Okay, and the more I can soften that hip, the leg will start to drop. Maybe you're going to experience that, maybe not. Okay, we're going to take 2 more breaths. And then bring the leg back up, change hands. Move the leg over to the left just a little bit. Your right hand can go out to the side. You can hook the thumb in your hip crease if you like. Just find that place, we go a little bit. Oh, if I put my thumb in the hip crease and I move the leg over, I can feel where it hardens. And that's where I'm going to stop. And just find some space, some softness. And softening the left leg if it's working really hard. Or a little bit. One more breath. Bring the leg up, and then we'll take the strap out and just release the right leg. Do nothing for a few moments. Let's really feel what we've done already. You can put your hands in your hip crease if you like, and massage, compare. Yeah. Okay, maybe you need to move your feet in and out a little bit, shake it, and then we're going to do the left leg. So if you want to bend the right leg, you can do that, or keep it stretched out. And then once you have the left leg up, you hold the strap in either hand and just find that place. Where do you hold your leg so that you can really soften through the left hip? You know, and that could be outer hip, inner hip. You feel for yourself. Where do you take tension? You might even be lifting your tailbone up. You know, really notice. You know, what are you recruiting here to keep the leg up? And how can you keep the leg up in this place of deep release from the sole of your foot? Just travel down through the leg. If your leg needs to move away from your face a little bit, let that happen. Feel the outer hip softening. The full face, very relaxed. All of your attention into this pelvic bowl area. If you're looking for the lamp. Just a few more breaths, exploring, letting the leg be heavy. And you might notice the sole of your foot softening. Let everything melt around this shape. The only effort you're putting in is just the little bit of effort you need to be here. Let the bridge of your breath feed and nourish anything that's talking to you. Okay, both ends of the strap into the left hand, and then start with that exhale of softening. And then let the leg slowly move to the left without engaging the right hip. Use your elbow on the floor if you need to. Maybe the leg only goes halfway today. And feel, maybe you bring the leg back up if you've gotten hard into the hip, just come back in. This is your time to explore. You're getting to know your own anatomy. What a great gift. Softening inner hip, outer hip, back of the hip, front of the hip. Just take 1, 2 more breaths. And lift the leg up. Maybe pause, soften what you need to. Change hands. Left hand out to the side, or thumb and hip crease might be super helpful. And then we'll take that leg across to the right, just enough, just where you feel, things start to harden. I soften. How can I create more space for wellness, for healing? Create more space. Maybe that's in the mantra of these last 2 years. Notice the left shoulder. Okay, and we'll take the leg back up. Release the strap and let the leg come all the way out. Just pseudo Shavasana for a moment. I'm going to bring both knees in again, and our last pose will be a happy baby. However you like to do that. So, holding the outer edge of the feet, maybe you just hold the knees. Be in that place now with all this work you've done to increase your attention, your awareness into what the pelvic floor, what your hip creases are doing, what your hips are doing. When you melt and release into all of that, and that includes the shoulders, that includes the face, that really includes the jaw. And the breath, nourishing and feeding, softening. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. And then release. Okay. I keep feeling like I just can't end yet. We can't move to Shavasana yet. We need to do a twist. If you're ready to go to Shavasana, you go ahead. Otherwise, from here, guys, I'm just going to put the right foot on the floor, cross the left knee over the right, arms out to the side, and then drop both knees over to the right. And feel free to uncross if that's too much. Oh, my block is here. My knee just fell on top so nice. Find your twisting. Find your breath. Find your softening. Just take 2 more breaths on this side. Maybe it's a breath and a cough. Okay, and then we'll just move to the second side. So left foot to the floor, right leg crosses over, and then both knees over to the left, if that works. Adjust as you need to, uncross if you need to. Just breathing into all these places you've awakened, even though the twist is happening. Can you soften into your hips? Even in this cross, can you soften? Beautiful. Okay, and we'll come out and move into Shavasana. You might bring your bolster in. You might make it a Bhattachanasana Shavasana, if that works. A blanket under your head, a blanket to cover. Maybe you grab your heating pad. You've got one. Actually going to lay the heating pad on my hip creases. Just let them receive that. But you don't need a heating pad. And the eye covering is nice. Just to drop in really quickly. And as quick as you can, do nothing but rest in. You might even start by inviting the settling to happen right through the midsection, the hips, the pelvic bowl, the low belly, the low back, sacrum. Let that drop, and just feeling that connection of your cranium and your sacrum, cranial sacral, where you can soften through the hips, the sacrum, back of the head, and everything in between. Invite in, full of gravity, lightness of your breath. Create space, any place that needs it right here, right now. scanning your body. Any place that feels still, that is not dropped in and released. And giving those places permission now to rest. Moving into your final few moments here. If you wish to come out, you can stay for as long as you like. We'll begin by drawing in the breath a little bit more deeply, nourishing yourself from head to toe. And then whenever you feel ready to bring in movement, go ahead and start to gently awaken yourself in a very loving, conscious way. I said how it's kind of fun to try and change your habits. So maybe today we'll roll to the left side instead of the right. Okay, bring the knees into your chest, friends, for a few moments. Just rock them in and out, massaging. And then when you're ready, you'll roll to your left side. And we'll just rest there for a few breaths. Let the softening happen. You'll know when you find it. If you roll to your side, take a few moments. There's a softening that happens about 3 or 4 breaths in. And then once you've felt that, maybe from that place of softening and grounding, you bring yourself up. And we'll just sit in our own energy. Get a comfortable sit. And let your hands rest. Okay, remember how we started? We had one palm up, one palm down. So hopefully you can remember which one you had up and down and just change it for a few moments. And as you're sitting, just feel you can lengthen yourself out of the cave of wonders, out of the pelvis, and also allowing the legs, the hips to feel grounded. And from that place, we'll inhale. As you exhale, join the palms together in front of your heart. Bow your chin as you honor all that you are. And into that, inhale, grow tall, lift your heart. And exhale this breath. And we'll seal this practice with our May We Be Blessed mantra. Inhale. May we be blessed with loving kindness. May we be well. May we be peaceful and at ease. May we be healthy and may we be happy. Inhale for Om. Take a full breath in. Breathe into your hands. Catch your sacred breath. Lift your chin, open your eyes. Offer this to yourself. Yes, same way we did at the beginning, just refreshing the energy, taking it in and sending it out. And we really send it out, friends, because so many need all of this goodness that we have cultivated for the last hour, right? You have people in your life who need this. Send it out. And then invite it back in. I saw that. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I bow to each of you. I honor your practice and I honor your presence and the great gratitude for each one of you. Thank you, guys.
been a long road of Zoom yoga, and I really appreciate your consistency and your practice, and I honor it. And we're in this together. We're in this together. So much love, guys. Have a great rest of this day, and we'll see you guys very soon. So much love. Namaste.